A dramatic new strategy to try to stop gun violence in America. Today, the U.S. Surgeon General declares gun violence a public health crisis.
It's a move that worked with smoking decades ago. I spoke with Dr. Vivek Murthy this afternoon about his action and what it could mean for Chicagoans. I want to begin by asking why now?
Gun violence is a public health challenge in our country. It's a crisis. And my worry is that it has been getting worse over the past decade or two, not better. In particular, what concerns me, not just as Surgeon General, but as a father, is that we have seen gun violence now become the #1 cause of death among children and teens. That was not the case 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It is the case today. And it raises the urgency with which we have to act to address gun violence. We shouldn't accept this as normal. We can do better. And in my advisory, I lay out strategies for how we can, in fact, address gun violence in America.
The experience of gun violence is so real for so many families who are our viewers in Chicago and the surrounding areas. Is there something that you would like to say to those viewers?
I think it's essential that our country understands the stories of those who have been affected. I keep those stories close to my heart because as I travel around the country, including to Chicago and other communities, I have sat with young people, including in Chicago, and heard their stories about gun violence. I've heard the worries of middle school students who tell me they're scared to go to school sometimes. I've heard from grandmothers who say that their grandkids don't want to wear light-up shoes because they don't want to be easy targets if there's a shooting in their school. These are the kind of stories that help illustrate to us that gun violence has actually infiltrated the psyche of America.
Doctor, you talked about taking this out of the realm of politics and really keeping it focused in public health. So what is your strategy to do that and really to return the focus to public health?
We're focusing on this as a public health issue, and that's the goal of this advisory. Historically, publications from the Office of the Surgeon General have helped highlight critical public health issues for the country and have helped bring us together to take action. That's what happened with smoking. Certainly as a country, we came together to address car accident-related deaths. In both of these cases, a public health approach helped us, and I believe it can help us with gun violence as well.
So among the Surgeon General's proposals to solve this crisis, a U.S. ban on automatic rifles, universal background checks, and also penalties for people who fail to safely store their weapons.